Hi guys, welcome back to part 2 of reborning Donna, or re-rating should I say, Donna. She was reborn by Mel, as I said to you in the last video. So what I've done so far is I've done her body and I'm just on her head. Now it's getting nice and weighty, which is what I like. I like the head to have more flop to the back of the head more than the front, so that when you got your baby in your arms, the head flops back, basically. So I'm going to add a little bit more weight to her head. Oops, daisy. So that you and my weights are in here. Oops. And as I told you before in the last video, if you haven't watched it, you can go back and watch it. I'm using rice. It works a treat, guys. If you haven't used it, don't knock it until you have. It's cheap. It's better than sand, because with sand it comes out your reborn, and if you're sending babies abroad, then I would recommend using the proper stuff. But if it's just for your own baby that you want, use rice. There's no harm in it, and it adds good weight, and also it's really cheap. And if you're skint and don't have very much money, then it's a good substitute to use than sat. So that's why I use it. And I haven't found anything else that's really cheap that you can use. So that's another reason. So I've got my rice, and there is some weights in there. So what I do is I just hold it with my fingers, like so, and then I have a feel, and that's really heavy now, which is, and as you can see, another little tip is try to hold it in your hand and see if the head flops back. And as you can see with her head, it does. If I stand it up, it just wants to sit back, which is good. When it's on the body, it will do that. So there is enough weights in there now. So now what I'm going to do is knot the head like so, and then I'm just going to stick. You can cut that off if you want to, guys. You don't have to leave it that long. So what I shall do is I will cut it with a little bit of a tail, and stick that in like so. And now what I do is I put some more fibre fill inside the head and push it towards the front, keeping the weights to the back of the head, because I want it to still flop back even more than what it's doing now. And by doing this, you make sure that it does that. And also the fibre fill now will fill out your head so that it's more solid, and not too flimsy, you know. So just keep pushing it in with your fingers. If you don't have long enough fingers, guys, you can use anything. A knitting needle, as long as you're using the other end. You can use a bit to the cat's toy and just push it in like so with the cat's toy and stick. This is really soft because it's got the soft end in it. And then you can give your baby a final squeeze. There's a bit of movement there, and I'm going to add a little bit more. do those areas. So that there and that there. Just push it in again and make sure you've got plenty of stuff in there. You don't want to overfill your head because you'll push it out of shape and then you can split your vinyl. So you don't want to make sure you don't overfill it, but you don't want to not to overfill it. See, now her head is near enough perfect. And I like the feelness of it. Just put a tiny bit that side where her cheek is. Just that side. That's it. Perfect. Okay. So now I've got her head exactly the way I like it, and it's still nice and soft at the top, and she's got the soft spots. Look, it's really soft there. So now I'm going to put the weight, fold that in there so that when I need it for next time I've got it. Okay. I'm going to have to hoover because there's rice all over the floor. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take your baby, okay, and you're going to take your cable tie and you want to thread your cable tie. And when you thread it, you want to make sure that that bit sticks outwards. This bit. Make sure it sticks outwards like that and not that way. Because if you do it that way, it won't just go like that. And as you can see, it's not tightening up and it's loosening. So make sure you do it that way. Okay, so keep that side facing out all the time, like so. So make sure, see, make sure it's facing out, and then thread your neck, like so. And then once you've got it at the end, okay, then take your head, sit your head in there, and just, whoop, she doesn't want her head on. Come here, you. Silly Willy, Donna. Sit your head in and make sure you've got enough fibre in her body, which I think I have. Okay. And then you can, if you want to, start it off like so. And as you can hear, it just clicked in. So that means I'm ready to put her head and her body together. So just make sure you've got all your fibre filled down, and then just start tightening your head. Make sure she can still turn her head, and then tighten up a bit. Still make sure her head turns so that for posing you can have her laying with her head to the side. So if I show you, it still turns. Okay. And then another little tip to find out if your baby is fine. Hold her like that and tip her head upside down. If her head falls off, you'll know. It just goes donk on the floor like mine just did before I even put the head on. So as you can see, she flops really well. She's got enough in her body, and because she's got 4 legs as well, guys, if I found that there was not enough stuffing in, Instead of me having to worry about taking her head off again, I can just stuff it from the leg and push the weights up a bit more. And then that way they would go up there if I wanted it. But she's fine, she's perfect the way she is. So I may tighten it just one more click, just so that I know it is on securely. And now I'm going to cut the cable tie off, like so. And now move all this stuff in that way. Lay her down there. Okay. And now I'm going to do her leg, because her leg is too soft, so she needs a bit more weight in her leg. So cut that cable tie off, and as you can see, it's way too shallow, so I'm going to see if I can get a bit more stuff in her leg. Oopsie daisy. And just put a bit more stuff in there. The weight's fine to her legs, it's just there's not enough stuff in there, and I like it a bit more chunky. See, now that feels loads more better already. And then just a bit more. So it's filled out a bit more, and that's perfect to me. She still is really like soft, but she's not too soft. I'm going to stick that bit in her butt. Right, so just because I've got her leg off, and I can. That's it. That leg needs doing as well, so I'm going to do that leg. I've got her apart. So again, make sure you've got it on the outside, then fade it through, and then click it once it clicks, put her leg in. Right, so hold it there and stop. Now because she's got full legs, I want to be able to make sure the leg turns a bit so that I'm happy with the position of her legs, like so. And then once I'm happy, pat it off. So Daisy. And then turn around and do the other leg. And again, be careful you don't hit the body, and be careful you angle the scissors away from the body, like so, and only cut the cable tie. You leave that alone. No, no, cat, get off. If you watch this, I'm going to hold this up here, but look, the head comes up. There's a cat there wanting the old cable ties. Don't you? You want the body cable ties, yes, you body do. So, yes, I'm never alone in this house. Cats everywhere. If he's not one way, he's trying to get behind the thing. Get off. Bubbles. No. them in my pocket and put them in the bin in a minute. But if I don't stick them in my pocket, he'll eat them. And we can't have that. So again, this one's got more stuff in than the other one had. Had quite a lot in there, but I just like a little bit more. So even my partner said when he held her this morning, he said yeah, she could do a bit more weight in her. So it wasn't just me. But poor Mel ran out of weight, so and she didn't have no rice. I had rice, and she knows that I like doing it myself anyway. So and then again, leg it in. So hold the leg, turn it up, a bit to me like it. Go away. Yep. And then pull it off. I'm just sticking a bit in my pocket as well. And there she is. Her arms are flying. She's been re-weighted. She's lovely and cuddly. And now just to get her dressed, guys. So I'm going to stop this video and I will get her dressed in the next part.